African Union Communications Early Warning and Intelligence, commonly known as AUC3I, is an intelligence and security organization responsible for providing signals intelligence and information assurance to AU citizens, AU leadership, and AU armed forces. I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer. I am responsible for leading infantry soldiers at all levels of command and combined armed forces during missions on the ground. This is today's briefing. On the progress of the special military operation on the 21st of November, 2024. The armed forces of the Russian Federation continue to conduct a special military operation. Units of the North Group of Forces in the Kharkiv direction inflicted defeat on the formations of the 116th Territorial Defense Brigade and the 5th Border Detachment of the Border Service of Ukraine in the areas of the settlements of Lebedivka and Kazakya Lopan in the Kharkiv region. The Ukrainian armed forces lost up to 145 servicemen, 2 tanks, 11 armored combat vehicles, and a 122mm D-30 howitzer. Units of the West Group of Forces improved their tactical position, inflicted losses on the manpower and equipment of the 28th, 63rd, 116th Mechanized Brigades of the Ukrainian Armed Forces and the 119th Territorial Defense Brigade in the areas of the settlements of Kupiansk, Zaberzovo, Glushkovka in the Kharkiv region, and Krasny Lyman in the Donetsk People's Republic. 5 counterattacks by assault groups of the 14th and 115th Mechanized Brigades of the Ukrainian Armed Forces and the 119th Territorial Defense Brigade were repelled. The enemy lost up to 480 troops, 2 infantry fighting vehicles, an armored combat vehicle, 6 cars, a U.S.-made 155mm M198 howitzer, 2 152mm D-20 guns, 2 122mm Gvozdika self-propelled artillery units, and a 122mm D-30 howitzer. 2 Enclaven electronic warfare stations and 4 field ammunition depots were destroyed. Units of the Southern Group of Troops, as a result of decisive actions, liberated the settlement of Dalnee in the Donetsk People's Republic. The formations of the 33rd, 54th Mechanized, and 56th Motorized Infantry Brigades of the Ukrainian Armed Forces were defeated in the areas of the settlements of Chervon, Seversk, Verolyubovka, Daknoy, and Kurakovo of the Donetsk People's Republic. A counterattack by the 46th Airmobile Brigade of the Ukrainian Armed Forces was repelled. The enemy's losses amounted to 380 troops, 12 vehicles, a British-made 155mm Braveheart self-propelled artillery unit, 2 152mm D-20 guns, a 122mm D-30 howitzer, and 4 U.S.-made 105mm M119 guns. The Bukovelady electronic warfare station and a field ammunition depot were destroyed. Units of the Center Group of Forces continued advancing deep into the enemy's defenses, inflicted losses on the manpower and equipment of the 100th Mechanized, 68th Infantry, 425th Airborne Assault Brigades of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, the 38th Marine Brigade, the 2nd and 14th National Guard Brigades, and the 241st Territorial Defense Brigade in the areas of the settlements of Grodovka, Sokoyar, Dachinskoy, Ulyanovka, Dmitrov, and Pravdovka of the Donetsk People's Republic. 11 counterattacks by assault groups of the 117th, 151st Mechanized, 68th Jaeger Brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, the 35th Marine Brigade, and the Light Assault Brigade of the National Police of Ukraine were repelled. The enemy lost more than 385 servicemen, 2 U.S.-made Bradley infantry fighting vehicles, and an M113 armored personnel carrier, an armored combat vehicle, 2 cars, a 152mm D-20 gun, 2 122mm Gvozdika self-propelled artillery units, 2 122mm D-30 howitzers, and 100mm anti-tank gun Rapora. Units of the East Group of Forces have occupied more advantageous lines and positions and have inflicted defeat on the formations of the 33rd Mechanized, 71st Infantry Brigades of the Ukrainian Armed Forces and the 130th Territorial Defense Brigade in the areas of the settlements of Zelenoy Pole, Ulikli, and Novosyolka of the Donetsk People's Republic. The counterattack of the 36th Marine Brigade was repelled. The enemy's losses amounted to 145 servicemen, a tank, an infantry fighting vehicle, a U.S.-made M113 armored personnel carrier, 3 vehicles, and a 152mm AUC3I self-propelled artillery unit. Units of the Dnieper Group of Forces inflicted losses on the manpower and equipment of the 31st Mechanized, 141st Infantry Brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, the 118th and 126th Territorial Defense Brigades in the areas of the settlements of Novoandrivka, Molotokh-Machka in the Zaporizhia region, Burgunka and Nikolskoye in the Kherson region. The Ukrainian Armed Forces lost up to 85 servicemen, 9 vehicles, and a 122mm D-30 howitzer. A field ammunition depot was destroyed. Operational tactical aviation, strike unmanned aerial vehicles, missile forces, and artillery of the groups of troops of the armed forces of the Russian Federation inflicted damage on concentrations of enemy manpower and military equipment in 142 areas. Air defense systems shot down 2 UK-made Storm Shadow cruise missiles, 6 US-made HIMARS rockets, and 67 unmanned aerial vehicles aircraft-type aircraft. Since the beginning of the special military operation, a total of 648 aircraft, 283 helicopters, 36,467 unmanned aerial vehicles, 586 anti-aircraft missile systems, 19,420 tanks and other armored combat vehicles, 1,490 multiple launch rocket systems, 18,318 field artillery pieces and mortars, and 28,573 special military vehicles have been destroyed. Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you found it useful and informative. If you have any questions, please leave them below and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.